I know. All the girls went, and then oh shit, that's when Fly was created. And, oh shit, we all gotta get bear skins. Look, he's getting all the pussy. He's getting all the pussy.
I gotta get that woolly mammoth exclusive.
And it meant more because you killed that.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Killed
Oh
this bitch.
shit, he killed it and he's wearing it. He's getting all the pussy. That was definitely the first stunt, yo. The first dude that killed everything and wore it.
Pheromones were high.
He was throwing the blood on the eyes. He was looking at everybody.
Homo sapien out and shit. Looking like.
Toxic masculinity.
But it's crazy though, because you know we do spend ridiculous amount. Like I think about like Pablo Escobar. They still find bags of money in Colombia. They still find bags of money in the dirt. The man has so much money. He's the reason there's 30-something hippos in fucking Colombia. Hippos don't belong in Colombia. Like,
Yep.
that's how much money he had. The nigga just said, yo, no, bring the hippo. Bring the hippo. What, no? I've been recording.
We've been recording.
This is how we start the show.
Yeah, this is how we start. So what's up, everybody? This is your boy Richard Picasso with your homie G out of character.
Hey, yo.
And we have a third co-host with us today, which is very, very new and exciting for us. As you already know, Mr. Crust Dice.
Yes, sir.
He's sitting right there, extra comfortable with the pigs. Look,
I know.
rubbing one.
Well, we got
ladies.
three of them right here.
Hello, ladies. How are
Are
you?
those like crocheted?
Yep, they're crocheted.
And he did them.
I know. I can believe it.
I've been sitting with this man for like 8 months, and I was talking about him, and then he's like, I was like, where'd you get these done? He's like, I did them. I said, you did this shit? You could do this? Like, what do you do?
When you have a lot of free time and you don't like going outside, you know, it's pandemic.
You learn how to
So
crochet.
you gotta learn to do something.
Big facts.
You gotta learn to do
Big
some
facts.
shit. But anyways, we have a very special guest with us here. You know, I appreciate this man, this gentleman, always pulling out this NPC freaking board and just going off and becoming like some Daft Punk, like Tiesto mixed with some fucking Calvin Harris type shit
Word.
out of fucking nowhere.
But hip hop, baby.
But with the
Yeah.
hip hop.
Yes.
He's the hip hop
Yes.
David Guetta in this bitch, man.
Big facts.
And most recently, the Fox and Kings new signee.
Yes, sir.
I saw that. That was very beautiful, man. So
Let's
we
go.
gotta congratulate, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the one, the only Bronx's own July Quin.
Yes, sir.
Drink champs. Oh, man.
We trying to get in trouble with Nori?
Salud.
Yo, word.
What up, y'all?
Oh my God, it's
Facts.
freaking dope.
How you gentlemen feeling?
Oh, great,
Oh,
man.
man.
Great
Dope.
now that you're here, man. You know,
Thank you, bro.
appreciate you coming
Thank
on,
you
man.
for that warm welcome.
Of course, of course.
Rich got go with him. He got go with him. It wasn't
Yeah.
always like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't always like
No,
that.
Word.
I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, because I'm still to this day trying to figure out how to like maneuver through this podcast and how to like get proper intros when we have guests and stuff.
Right.
So it's like before it'd be like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Rich, and then there's Gil.
And then here are the guys.
And here they go.
You know them. Or
Yeah,
you
here they
will.
are. It's like I want to try to get people.
I think he's even told guests before, so introduce yourself, man.
Oh yes, I would make them. Yeah, I would make
Do
them.
the work.
Yeah, I would make them introduce themselves because it's like I know who you are. I see you a million times.
You be right, but you be right there twiddling your thumbs like, oh shit, I didn't
Who the
prepare like
fuck
a
is-
dissertation.
Who the fuck is this guy?
You know, I hate it. I hate the concept of having to introduce yourself sometimes. Like at shows, like whenever they ask me for my biography, I'm just like, fuck, like what am I gonna send to them and what am I gonna say? Because I don't know. Like it all feels a little bit more feels cliche to me sometimes.
I mean, it is.
And, so like if I do have to introduce myself, I say the dumbest shit ever.
All right,
Like,
introduce yourself right now.
I am the bombastic boogie down Bronxster.
Yes. Say it.
You wrote that
Bombastic
shit
boogie
down
down.
somewhere, huh? You wrote
That's
that
four
shit down
B's.
somewhere, huh?
That's four B's. Bombastic boogie down Bronx.
Word.
That's a
BBB.
shirt. That's a shirt.
The Midnight Messiah.
Look at like comedians when they have to send when they're trying to send audition tapes, and actors when they're sending audition tapes. Even then, like usually the ones that don't send it out are the ones that'll get the role.
Yeah.
The ones that don't send it out, they just show up. They
Right,
show up,
right,
they got
yeah.
the role. You feel me? Like, but because they suck at doing audition tapes. Some people
Yeah.
are just bad taking tests. You know what I mean? But they're geniuses, bad test
Yeah.
takers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the biography is. It's almost like you're being tested right now, and it is cliche because, if there's 100 motherfuckers in the room, there's a big chance a lot of us have the same similar story.
Yeah.
So how many
But
times?
it,
like
it also just feels like a little too. It feels like I'm selling myself. Like I don't ever want to be in the position to feel like I'm selling myself. Like a part of it has to feel organic.
I mean,
like,
but you're an entertainer.
Right, but
You're always for sale, baby.
Mm.
You're always for sale.
Not always for sale. You gotta
Make me
keep
look
your
like a whore
dignity.
right
Like,
now.
everybody,
I got some non-negotiables.
it's like everybody has a certain price. It's like you just gotta know your price.
But you got to know your market because I'm not selling certain parts of myself for. There's a price for things that like, obviously.
What do
like,
you do?
Well, hip hop. So music is there's always a price for that if you want to pay me for a show or something like that or like.
But what would be something you wouldn't do for a price?
Like, would you do OnlyFans with your MPC and stuff? Just nude going off or some shit?
I do OnlyFans in general.
Oh, so, hey, look.
No, but
Like just going, like doing your
you
like
heard
that.
it here, folks.
Wow.
doing the production and the video editing and bro, I would go off actually. That's the
Oh,
that would be my thing probably if like music doesn't work out for me. It's just like I'll use my tools in other ways.
Just go down. That's it.
Yeah, like
give me my 20 million a month to yo-yo naked.
Black China. 20 million a month.
Black China gets $20
They just
million
reported her
a month.
shit.
Well, of course. I mean,
The other bitch too. The Catch Me Outside chick.
That
Catch Me
baby.
Outside chick.
Yes.
I just got one question. Who are the niggas paying for this?
Niggas that
Like
I mean, but
20 mil is a lot though, no?
That's a lot.
20 mil is a lot.
Is that before or after
There's
taxes?
nothing wrong with that. Like, shout out to them for making their money. Like, even if you,
I ain't hating.
yeah,
I wish I could.
yeah. I mean, they're
wish
they're
I like-
beautiful, and in their case, like they have a rapport outside of just being beautiful. Like they have miscellaneous things that they do. Maybe they're artists or something like that. Like that's a market. Like sex sells, and there's niggas that are gonna pay for that shit, even if they're not showing anything. Like they just want to get involved in the potential idea of like, cause that sex will make you do a lot of crazy shit.
That nigga's had it. That nigga be, yo, I was in Black China's comments. Yo, I was texting her, and she hit me back up. She said she liked me. Look. I paid her $75 last week.
And but then there's also a market of people in general, not only women, that like legitimately want to be porn stars or like fucking want to have that lifestyle, but they take it so serious. It's like work.
I really do.
You want to be a porn star?
I really do though.
I feel that.
Like once I get this six pack, and
It's over.
y'all think I'm playing with y'all. I'm still not playing. Like, yeah, but Ron Jeremy could lick his own dick. I'm not there yet, okay? Like, I don't know what kind of physical capable abilities that nigga had, but I don't have those, okay? Like,
You gotta
barely
start flexing now, like
yo, I don't even think about myself that way. Like, yo, you really got.
So it starts at self-confidence.
Remember we just said everybody has a price. I wonder what they told him. Yo, Ron, listen, for this scene,
No, but that was a
they're
different.
gonna want you to try it. Try what? We know you can reach it. We saw you trying in the locker room.
You can reach it.
Nigga, try. Listen, she's
said
gonna push her head down, and you're gonna smack her hand away and say, "I can do it myself."
But that's also like
He said, don't let that stomach get in the way, motherfucker. We see.
but that's also like an industry that's like
It's grown so much.
It's grown-
They say
but-
60% of traffic on the internet is people searching porn. They search more porn
'cause people
than
are-
there's people. Yeah,
While
60%
driving?
of traffic. Traffic on the internet. People on the internet.
I think I'm traffic on the road.
I was like,
I'm like, who's fucking driving, well?
he said, I'm stuck in traffic right now. Let me know.
Might as well just bust a nut real quick.
Let me catch this next episode of Foursome.
I go fucking.
Ask
I
this
watch-
truck this
I
part
watch-
4.
I watched
Not
porn while I was
ass
driving. I was fucking high off Molly, taking like a 2.5 hour trip from Jersey back to New York, and I'm fucking high off Molly, and I couldn't wait to get home and have sex, right? And I just couldn't wait. I'm fucking sitting there, so I'm like,
wait.
traffic.
So
I'm
you
in
one
traffic.
hand on the wheel.
No. The phone conveniently fits in the dashboard right there, so I just put the
This
phone there.
Nah, but that's even worse.
Yo,
And then I get to the toll. No, but it's not like
He's
I'm watching it. I'm more
most
like hearing it. I'm not even like watching. I'm more like hearing it. You know?
Oh, so you're like The Weeknd making an album.
I'm tripping balls. Fucking sue me. So I'm tripping balls. Yo, but the greatest shit is you get to the red light and you get to the bridge and
He's like-
the cop's like, the fuck? And I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh man.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I've been there.
But I mean, I believe that like 60%. Because also there's more people that are sexually liberated and sex is not a taboo topic anymore. Like, I mean, in some instances it is, but like,
I mean,
there's
still-
people who want to know more.
In Ben Shapiro's world, it is like he don't believe in the conversation of it. You got to hear this man rant. He's like,
Oh no,
anal, what the fuck is that? Why would I ever want to put my penis where shit comes out of a butthole? You got to hear this man. Like, anal, what the fuck? Yo, he was getting on Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion when they came out with Wet Ass Pussy.
Yep.
Yo, he's like, read these lyrics. Like, you want to slip in this wet ass? He's like, what is this?
Music? But I feel like that's also a product of just like niggas trying to control shit.
He's a crazy liberal though.
But it's like you said, sex sells.
Yep.
Right.
You can't deny sex.
But also they get tight. Like men typically get tight.
D'Angelo went butt ass for his record to say.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, it's a part of if you're sexy, use that shit. Like, if you want to, obviously. Like if you feel, and I feel like a lot of artists are growing into that where if they know or they're trying to become that type of person where they're trying to get comfortable in their skin, because I feel like that's another big aspect of it. Like to be that brave in certain instances, to go out there and want to like be confident amongst people and show yourself in that.
There's a negative.
I've been
negative to that too. Yeah.
I've been naked on film.
Not everybody's gonna compliment you.
Oh no, but I mean,
and as good as you look, there's somebody else that knows they look better. You know what I mean? Like
right, but at that point it's not a competition. Because also the flip side of it is the internet, where like niggas is just like, yo, I hate it when this person is trying to sell me this via sex, or like, oh, why is this person doing that, or this bitch shouldn't be doing this shit or something like that. And it's just that's male ego more than it is.
But I never complain though. Like my Instagram algorithm is crazy. I should sell it.
But
like you go down my Instagram algorithm, it's just ass.
But
ass, cars, animals eating animals. You know what I mean?
but my point is that
this nigga's history.
But there's niggas that love that shit behind it. Like, oh, I don't want that to be my girl, or I don't want that to be so prevalent in like society or da 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 da. But they're the same niggas behind closed doors that are just like liking and scrolling, and you know what I mean. So it's a little hypocritical in some instances in that nature.
I can't be mad. Look, I can't be like you said. You know, if you're beautiful and you're gorgeous and you can make a profit off of it, I'm not gonna be mad at you. It's for people that aren't the same. You know, for people that aren't well endowed and don't have that. You know, don't.
Well endowed.
See that is you can't do that either. You can't do that either, because that's a huge point of it too. The reason why people do the things that they do now, like at least in some cases, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think I think it's because they want to feel empowered by, you know, and that's a wonderful feeling, because we've had years and years of that, or just generations in history of like our family lineage and the way that they operated, where
that's
it was just
what
like,
I will say,
oh,
too.
Don't use
this is the age of being the shit.
Like,
everybody's the
condoms,
shit nowadays.
Celibate, like, and because of those like certain things of being like more conservative, then you have people who don't know shit about their sexuality or like how to have sex or like their body or well I wouldn't say confused, but like
I got a 17-year-old cousin that out here fucking smiting these bitches. Yo, he's just bringing a hammer down. He's like, yo, you ever tried this position before? I said, what the fuck is that? He's like, it's when you do.
Yeah, but we're in a new
generation now. You're 17.
These motherfuckers, man.
He's 17.
Right.
He's like, you ever pull it out of her mouth and then put it up?
But that's
what are you talking about? You're 17.
But this is what I mean. We're in a new generation now. You're gonna hear a lot of crazy shit. Like when we were kids in the 90s, we heard crazy shit, and then in the mid 2000s, teenagers, we started doing crazy shit. Now it's like we're older and we're hearing these kids now like this new position, like this girl, bro, I took her right. She was sucking my dick, and all of a sudden I was spinning her around in my fucking bed like. It's like, what the fuck y'all niggas is doing?
I think an aspect of that is like, yo, you don't wanna see kids grow up too fast. Like, yeah, have your fun, because there's pretty much like
pull out.
I'm
have your fun, but pull out. That's all I'm saying.
But like I may have been doing the same shit that you was doing. I may not have been as blunt about it, but like, so that's another thing. Sometimes when you get older, it's like you got to look at what you were doing when you were younger and really put it in perspective. Like I probably was wilding also in certain instances.
Maybe we all were.
So I can't be mad at that, but I also want to be able to like it's the fine line across of just like, yo, like don't grow up too fast. Have your fun. Like, also respect people, and like be safe. Like, at the end of the day, just be safe. Like
just be careful. You know, there's been times like even with myself, like people are like this generation's like more bolder and they're like more upfront. They'll like, oh, you can't talk about this, and they'll blatantly tell you. Like, I remember being at the bar and there was like a woman that was like she was like real short. She was like 4'9", ish, but she was like super light. Like I was holding her up with one hand, like I could like throw her.
The fuck, bro?
Yeah, she was super light, but then like we were conversating because she was like talking about like all these sex things she does. I said like I guarantee you could probably just sit right here and I could just spin you like a fidget spinner. And then she just sits and then she just straight up. You want to try it? I'm like,
Oh well.
okay, this
I
is
bet
point.
you he did it.
No,
I bet you he did it.
I did do
yeah,
it.
exactly.
I did do it.
Exactly.
I did it. I did it.
Exactly.
Dude.
It was like right there in the middle of the bar.
Yeah. Like in my head, I'm like, that caught me off guard. I'm like, wow, you're
just
very
understand
open to getting
Nah, but
spun around like a fidget spinner.
All right, but in my, I love people who are direct. Like,
Yes, that's what I was trying to
it doesn't
get
have to
forward.
be sexual, but like,
no, just be yourself. You know, don't beat around the bush.
yeah.
I hate people with an agenda.
Mhm.
You know, you can almost feel that energy. Sometimes it be real. Like even something about you makes me feel like I shouldn't be here.
Right, yeah.
Like, something about you
Right.
makes me feel like I'm out of
Like,
place.
You're triggering me inside. Like
I don't
my
know
instincts
why.
Are going
I don't
off.
know why.
And I don't know necessarily where I'm supposed to be, but I know I'm not supposed to be here with
But
you.
it's crazy. Like I feel like with this day and age, it's hard to call. I don't know if we're closer or are we separated. I can't really tell no more. I can't tell if we're close. If it's easier because the internet's there, or if it's harder because the internet's there. I don't know if we want it. If people really want to be close, like, is the facade of being having a friendship on the internet better than knowing somebody in person? Like, what's the worst that you can't do? Go out to a bar?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Like, we grew up on the internet, so
Hmm.
there's a lot of relationships I probably wouldn't have or opportunities without the internet.
Hmm.
At the same time, though, I'm a firm believer of like going out. I was just having this conversation the other day. Like, one of my homeboys, he's more or less like a homebody. Amazing
Crib
artist.
star.
A crib star. Wow,
That's what you call
that's
it.
amazing. I like
Crib
that,
star.
but he's a homebody, but he makes like amazing music, and I keep on telling him like, yo, bro, I would love to see you perform more. But he's just not that person that goes out like that. And I tell him like in my personal experience, I wouldn't have had the friendships that I had, like in life-changing friendships, mind you, the opportunities that I had if I didn't go out and like show up. Sometimes it's just about showing up.
Yep.
Like, you know, and that's a really, really big part of like your success. It's like if you have that personality, and maybe even if you don't, like mingle, like go out, give yourself the opportunity to be seen and to make friends and to like apply your craft too in certain instances if you're an artist. Like go to the open mic, and you know, that's how I came up too. Like dead broke, had enough money to take the bus there, walk all the way back. But because I was there in those instances and I sacrificed that, like I was able to meet these amazing people and be a part of the culture.
But there's a way for him to, you know, now, especially now, there's a way for him to that he don't have to go out. I was just in the metaverse like 3 days ago, and no cap, they have like I was in a studio in the metaverse, and I was spitting bars. Then everybody else started spitting bars, and then I go to a comedy.
Then I go to a online cipher.
Then I go to a no, it's a studio though. It's an actual recording studio in the metaverse. It's an actual recording studio, and niggas
like
are just
that
sitting
shit.
there. I know.
What kind of shit?
What?
That shit sounds crazy though, right?
What?
In the
What?
metaverse?
You gotta be very.
Well,
You got
no,
headphones
but
on and shit?
Take it a step further.
You got the headphones on?
They don't have them anymore.
No, take it a step
Like,
further though.
they-
Take it a step further though.
They
Look,
dropped them.
look at that.
We can talk
look at
about
that
that in a
person
second.
that's scared, that don't wanna. Look at that person that's scared, that don't wanna go outside. That, yo, they have a comedy club in there.
Oh well, of
They have a
course.
comedy club in there, and the person up on stage, I could tell they don't want to be outside.
But
They hate people, but
but-
they're funny as fuck.
Hmm.
You know, it gets it out there. There's still ways that people you
Of
don't
course,
have to be.
you don't have to, because success is different for everybody. What you want is different for everybody. But if you're somebody that's not making that wave on the internet like that, then you have to be somebody
have
who
to.
goes out.
Personal.
If you want that for you,
Mhm.
like, because some people maybe don't want that, and they're cool with just staying at home making music. You know, that's fine. But also you got to be careful when being in the internet, because there's so much. It's not the real world. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of like fake shit that looks like it's real, genuine love when it's not. And then you get out in the real world, and then you realize that these are the same people talking behind your back and don't really give a fuck or won't spend money on you. Like, you have to take that with a grain of salt every time. Like, metrics are cool in one thing.
Shit. Some people spend money. Some people subscribe to you just to hate on you though.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But then what's the realness after the fact.
Well, that's why you say real world, and
How do you
I don't
sustain
think
your
the internet's
happiness?
not real. I think just the internet's not physical. I don't think the internet's not real because
That's a fair
you can
point.
read a comment. You can read a comment and be affected by it.
Yep.
You know,
Oh no, of
you
course,
could-
of
you
course,
could-
of
so
course,
that-
of
but
course.
that's real. What you get from it is real. It's just not physical.
I think the
That's
interaction's different.
yeah. Like it's really how you take it.
Yeah, your real world interactions change when you're focusing on an artificial world. And I think when you go into the metaverse, that's when shit's gonna start to change. Where people are now gonna expect certain experiences in one way, and then if they can't transpire those experiences in the real world, that's what's gonna fuck up with people's minds. It's happening already with the internet as it is.
Mhm.
With Instagram, with TikTok, like a lot of people, like we were just talking about, right, about real world experiences. If you're not there physically,
Mhm.
you're not gonna be all there mentally.
Case in point.
Yeah.
Case in point, I work with kids when the pandemic happened and we were working remote and stuff like that. Like, eventually we came back to the building.
Okay.
That's a year lost of time that these kids weren't around anybody, socializing with
Nope.
anybody.
Nope.
Like, and in that essence, they lose a lot of life personable skills,
Yes.
and they don't know how to operate in certain instances. And now you got to reteach those things. Same thing with grown adult people. If you're not in that real world aspect, at least a good chunk of the time, you're gonna start like your brain is gonna be fried to the point where you think everything on the internet is real and it's always gonna be that. Like, sure, it has its place. You could be successful
Yeah.
there just doing the shit on the internet.
It's a sea of bullshit sometimes.
But also, yeah, no, but it's a sea of bullshit. And it's like, do you really want to spend your whole life there where like you're always constantly tuned in?
Shit.
Like,
And then
that
the
is-
argument, and
how
then
do you
you know what the
tune out?
argument is though? I make 20 million on OnlyFans.
Mm.
Motherfucker, yeah, I'll spend
that's diff-
15 hours on a computer, on a phone, on hell yeah, I'll spend 15 hours like this. Look, they don't know
But-
at night I'm like this. I'm fucking like this at the end of it, but fuck it, I got 20 million in my account.
But I don't think those OnlyFans models are like spending their lives on the internet. I think they have, because you kind of have to, because if you're always engaging with your fan base like that, and once again physically
I think it's
taxing
it
and
has to be addictive to when you sign off and go all offline, and Jack and Henry just both sent you another 300. Can you just come out for 5 more minutes? And you're like, damn.
right.
Ah,
Well, no, so of course it's like with everything, even if you love doing that shit, like genuinely love the art of doing it, there's burnout in every
Yeah.
creative
Too
process.
much of something is not
Like,
good.
and it's like you're going to get tired. You know what's gonna tap you back into reassessing and going back into that. You gotta come out of the internet. You gotta go back to the real world
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
decompress
yeah,
and find things that make you happy outside of that.
Yeah.
Because if you're always scrolling the internet for happiness,
You can I think used for the right way, it can be a healthy balance of both.
of course,
Of real life,
Sometimes people
internet life,
use the internet as to validate a certain way of life.
and
Like,
thinking.
a lot of people do OnlyFans
Trumpers.
because
My bad. I got fucking diarrhea of the mouth today.
they'll feel right. You have some look at OnlyFans, right? You got some woman selling their feet online or like playing with the pussy, whatever, online.
And her
But-
panties.
Yeah, and her panties.
With the
But-
shit stain.
but-
They got the little.
Yeah.
That's why it was special. She charged an extra 100 with the poopy stain down the middle.
It could be Friday. It could be Friday.
We don't
She-
even know. That's her man's shit stain.
It could be-
They didn't even. It
it could be Friday.
You guys don't know that shit, do you?
It could be Friday and she's wearing Tuesday's panties, my nigga. Like, what's up?
Ew.
But if you gave that woman 5K to do a porn video,
If somebody was giving me 5K.
no. Like,
I'll say you cut that shit to 25. I'm
if
good.
that woman said 5K for a porn video, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it because they rather do it on OnlyFans. For some reason, because we're in our little space, our little confined space, we feel that we can do certain things that if we weren't here, I shouldn't do, or maybe that I wouldn't be accepted a certain way.
Well,
So that's why I'll sell a little sex video for $15 to some guy jerking off in the basement. But like if the big studio comes in like, yo, baby, 5K, I put you in the room with these other two guys. It's like, no, it's okay. I don't want to be on camera.
No, but the thing about that is it's ownership at that point. Like,
Yeah.
you're in
Yeah.
full control of
That
your
person.
content
Yeah.
and what you do. There's full autonomy of your body and your time and the things you will or won't do. So I get that aspect of it.
Well-
like, why would you not want to make X amount of
Your own
dollars in
shit.
your crib doing whatever the fuck you want, more or less? and opposed to risking a relationship with a studio or whatever and not having that real connection. Like, it's a little bit different, and that's one of the beauties of the internet. Entrepreneurship, you could do whatever the fuck you want, start your own business, be your own artist online, and control all of it.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, which I think is another.
And then be asked, how much do you want to further partner up? How much is you?
You can make your terms now, like, and you can build and figure out where you want your business to go, as far as, like, it's a business.
Yes.
You know, and that's why I respect the hustle too, because, like, if you're beautiful, if you can flaunt it, if you're sexy, this doesn't even go for women, just in general, and you have an OnlyFans account, which, by the way, I didn't think this whole entire conversation was gonna trickle down to OnlyFans today.
No, but I'm
trying to get to the artist profile. We're talking about dicks.
This is my artist. No. This is my artist profile.
Talking about sex and all this crazy shit.
There's one more.
I'm like, when we gonna get to him, man?
Picasso, you're gonna. This is what's happening after the art.
Oh.
Like when I'm no longer the artist.
But oddly enough though, there's always it's almost like commercial music. It's almost like commercial music and then underground music, because you'll have places where there's a paywall to get into things, where the OnlyFans, Patreon, no matter, a paywall to get into things, and it's expected to be premium content because there's a paywall, correct? But then there's a dark world where you get that shit for free, like the underground, hip hop. Then you got like Camster and all that shit, and the shit that's happening to those bitches on those sites. I be getting worried for them. They get hurt.
But
like they get, I'm like, you're killing her. There's 4 niggas choking this bitch out, and it's free. There's no paywall. I didn't pay a subscription, and I wonder why. The quality is just poor.
I thought you were talking about something completely. I thought you were talking about something completely different, and then you went.
I'm just saying, there's always a world where free stuff can also thrive because people will digest it. Like, if you create, people will digest it.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's
if you
because
create, people will digest
ever so often you do have to give your shit away for free. Like, nobody's gonna start off buying your shit. Like,
go argue with Katy Perry then, because Katy Perry and all these bitches, they're like, yo, I don't like streaming services. I think they're fucking ridiculous.
But that's fair, and
if you want my music, you should be paying for my music.
But they should
if you want my art.
Technically, they should be. And the reason I get that aspect of it, because yes, music should be free, but because it's been free for so long on so many different streaming, you pay $9.99 a month, no matter your subscription service, to have a library full of unlimited music that you can press play at any time. Because of that simple fact, for X amount of years, the quality of how you digest it and how you appreciate it in some instances changes. You have your core fan base. If you have your core fan base, like, that's never gonna change, and that's how you build it. But if you're trying to get in the casual viewer, the casual viewer who might like something and pay attention might not be that quick to press, oh, I'm gonna download this, or I'm gonna pay for this. Like, you gotta entice them in different ways now. And shit, iTunes, there's not even an iTunes anymore like that. There is on like your computer. But I remember I was trying to buy the Graffiti Royale album, and I asked my homeboy, shout out to Graffiti Royale, like, oh man, like, I really want to buy this. Is there a place to, like, purchase this? Like, do you guys have a Bandcamp, as an example? And it was just like, and he told me go on iTunes, and I'm just like, but, like, not that I don't want to go there, but, like, that's a hassle on your phone. If you think about it, you go on iTunes redirects to Apple Music, and there's no, like, $9.99 option where I could click, I put in my payment information, and now I have the album. Like, I gotta go on my laptop, get on the internet, download it from there. I can't do that shit from my phone, and that's by design. Spotify doesn't sell shit.
Nope.
Apple Music is the only place that sells shit, but you have to go on a laptop and get that. And, like, the workaround. So they've conditioned us as, like, consumers and potential fans to be happy with just, oh, at any given moment I could just have access. Why would I need to buy a CD? Why would I need to download your music? Why would I need to pay for this? Like, so then the hustle becomes different. It's like, now I got to get enough loyal, genuine fans to make my money at shows, or, like, get these sponsorships, or, like, the views and the metrics are going to speak for itself. Now I have the opportunities to do X, Y, Z, but you have to do a lot more work now. It's not just about the music. Like, you could be a great artist and have amazing songs.
It's funny because it's interesting because the tangible items are still profitable. even in this digital world that we're in right now. So like you're focusing on merch, you're focusing on sponsorships, you're focusing on people going to shows, physical things that people pay for.
Mm-hmm.
That so 25 years ago you were physically paying for a record, physically paying for a vinyl. It's the same concept now, but it's just a different format.
Yep.
You're now experiencing you in order for you to physically pay for something, you have to physically see that artist in front of you.
Right.
Which is what's really interesting, but why are we not consuming music when we come to listening music the same way? That's what changed.
Yep.
And I guess it's because it's on demand. I think it's because like look at this podcast, right? Instead of me waiting for every morning at 7 a.m., I now can go on and listen to the What's Up Everybody podcast at my leisure. And it's been we've been conditioned like that for at least going on 20 years now, at least. And is it good or is it bad? One can argue. I think it depends on who is actually making the content.
Well, what it created, what it did create was, we're in the age of everybody's an influencer. What it did create was, now the kid don't want to grow up and be Tina Turner singing and have an artist career. Now the kid's on the internet and sees, oh shit, there's way too many people that rap. There's way too many people that make music. Let me do something else. So what it created was, hopefully anyway, because, if all you kids become influencers, there's no more doctors and nurses. Go good luck. You know what I mean? If you guys are all on YouTube, I love it. Everybody goes to YouTube to figure something out and shit like that. Everybody's gonna be fixing themselves in 20 years because of YouTube. Like,
but also in that sense where you don't have that connection with like a Spotify or something like that, and you're getting paid pennies on streams and shit like that, then it becomes a thing of like the artists themselves become disposable. So you have to fight like a Katy Perry in that sense.
Yeah,
maybe
Katy Perry.
Maybe Katy Perry is a bad example because she's also like a super pop star. It's like, what money are you actually losing? But in the sense of just art in general, like, you lose out on the money because the opportunity then goes to influencers, or in the case of like that fucking robot rapper where they AI shit.
FN Mecca.
Yeah, like legitimately AI is a thing that they're trying to do, and the fact that they signed him, even though they took him off, like
yeah, $10 million.
That's scary, and it was a white guy that made that shit.
Yep, that's what fucked him up. And the police brutality shit.
And because of that, because you don't know who's behind these things, and people are gonna digest it and love it because of the internet, or troll it because of the internet, but it's gonna get popular and get streams, and traffic is gonna move because of the internet. So then it becomes a dangerous thing, because are we talking about like actual art and the dignity of art? Like, are we judging it by the merit that it holds, or are we judging it by the numbers? Because if it becomes a numbers game, then you eliminate the artist and the art completely. Then you have room for the AI and all these other things to take the forefront, and then it becomes watered down. And then you still, the same way that like we've been conditioned to $9.99, boop, thousands, hundreds, billions of music like at our disposal, and we don't even think about it.
Well, they do
like,
say it's always been the number though. It's always been the number. We could
more,
have two arguments about who's
but it
also
also
who's a better rapper.
It also used to be like, who's selling nigga Wayne when he did the Carter 3? What did he do first week? Like, he did like $1 million, right?
Yeah, he did $1 million.
Like
You know that's what they judge you on now, right?
They don't judge you on that anymore.
No, like
sales
first week.
like
everybody
first
wants
week sales.
They don't. If
But-
somebody
but-
does 30,000, 30,000, 30,000,
Or
they don't look at the end of the year. They
but-
look at what you did the first week.
But streams too.
What?
But
Oh,
how do you?
streams?
How do you also? Yeah, and then but also streams sometimes don't equate to actual ticket sales, or you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, you know why though? Because
streaming.
streaming, streaming and analytics and numbers are all that's photoshopped. That can be photoshopped. You can buy a room like this. I buy 15 fucking 20, 30 computers, and I'll run every fucking playlist of every song I want to do. And at the end of the month, I'm gonna give you a thing and say, look what we do.
Technically,
Yeah.
But that's my point. That's why that shit's fickle. That's just not. It's not numbers, and unfortunately, what the truth is goes to show that there is no dignity in the art no more. Because if I showed you that this piece of shit song got fucking billions of views and it's on paper, oh shit, that shit.
No,
nice.
but bro,
Let's work.
that's a trick though. If you start thinking that way, then it becomes that. Then you don't look or.
I'm not at the man that did it. I'm not mad at the man that did it though.
No, but I'm saying what I'm saying is, you gotta be careful. You gotta acknowledge that, but you also have to make room to to like support your local community and show up and like give love to the people who are actually doing it and you like. Like maybe like, oh shit, like I actually genuinely like this. Let me buy this album because I know as an artist or maybe even as a fan, like there's so many different artists you got to compete with that are getting money because they have the access. Sometimes we don't have the access. So support is a huge thing. So you have to also keep in mind that you're responsible because you're a consumer also. If the consumer in majority, and it's hard, but if the consumer can change the mindset of like, yo, like I'm not only going to stream my shit. Like if I like something, I'm going to go out and I'm going to support it. I'm going to buy a ticket to the nigga that's down my block that I really like, that spits that hot 16 and has great songs or something like that. Or I've seen perform. He does great, amazing yo-yo tricks. I'm going to show up to his next show and I'm going to like invest money and like ask him like, yo, where can I buy your music and stuff like that? Because I want to support. That's very important too. Like as a fan and as a listener, you have to keep that in mind too, because if it becomes like a thing like, oh, well, you know, there's no real good art, that's a lie. Like, and you can get caught up in that lie very, very quick because oh shit, every single time I'm on the radio, I'm listening to the same trap beat. But
it's design.
Get off the radio. Like,
if
and
you don't go, if you don't go
like,
look for it, you're not gonna find it.
Go to your local like.
And why
venue
is that though? If you don't go look for it, you're not gonna find it. Is that because of what's being pushed on us? Is it because of the stream? Is it because of the?
But
why do I gotta search that hard?
Also, sometimes people are great marketers. And that's a big.
Just can't beat them. You just can't beat them.
So that's why I'm super. And I've had this conversation a lot. That's why I'm super interested in teams. Like, yeah, Bad Bunny's amazing. I wonder who's on his team and what they're telling him.
There's about 400 people that make him up.
We were talking about the whole bus thing of him starting at 161, going through the concourse, ending up in the Heights, and during the pandemic, my boy Memo was telling me, because we was having a conversation about him last night. We was just like, yo, you realize, like I saw an interview where he was just like, yo, like his team had to convince him of that. Because he was just like, oh, I don't know if this is a good deal. It sounds, not that it sounded corny to him, but he was just like, I don't know if this is really going to do anything for us. And his team had to convince him, like, no, I think that you should take this bus. You should start at 161, drive, and he credits them for that. He's just like, yo, to their credit, like, it ended up being a huge thing. I would go out to LA and like, this nigga's like, yo, what you did in the Bronx, bro? Fucking amazing. Like, and also, we were having that fun conversation of how with the show he did in the Bronx like last week in the Yankee Stadium, like he knows where his core audience is. He's not gonna make them travel to Madison Square Garden
or go to go Lower East Side and shit.
He's gonna have them come to his home to where they live,
where they predominantly are,
and fucking show up in Yankee Stadium instead of having them go to fucking Barclays Center. You know what I mean?
Doing arenas and shit.
That's super smart.
That's an arena artist.
Yeah, you know, and
not SOBs like me.
But you have to have a good team too. Like that's
it's
a big
all
part of
teams. That's really is.
You get nowhere without.
Nobody could do it by themselves.
Yeah,
that's one thing I learned. Sure. I wouldn't be where I am like yo-yos if it wasn't for me watching other people who were better at me yo-yoing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to make the music I'm able to make if it wasn't for me watching and listening to other artists and combining all of like their skills and talents and thinking of like creative ways that I could approach songs or get into a little auto-tune, get into rapping fast, rapping slow, and just switching up my flows every time I'm on the beat and stuff. It takes a lot of time and pressure, and it does sometimes bring a lot of the kind of like the world around you like kind of cave in because you're taking I feel like I absorb too much information that it just like caves my head in a little bit.
Yeah.
That when you were talking about like you just need a rest one day. Like out of a month, there's 30 days in a month, and then you're working all 29. You're gonna fucking burn out and like crash.
Yeah. You need to set aside time for your health and mental and physical, and that's another aspect of it because I think about success a lot because success is determined by the individual person. I can't look at you and say, yo, I think you would be successful if you did X, Y, Z. Like, because maybe that's not your dream.
Exactly.
Maybe you do X, Y, Z and it don't work.
Yeah. You know, but a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to please an idea and a concept, and they're not that. Somebody else's idea and concept. You know what I mean? So you have to think about what you really want out of what you're doing. If you're in music and you're trying to be the greatest hip hop artist of all time, then maybe you have to do X, Y, Z to get there. If you just want to be one of those people, and this is where I fall in line with a little
Join
bit.
a gang, put 69 in my head, and say I'm blood, and get to that position. What do you mean? What do you mean? They say I'm the king of New York, and then
All right.
everybody hate me and call me a rat? Is that what I got to do to be the best rapper in the world?
But that's a product.
Apparently.
But that's a product of the internet too. Like my morals and my artistry are more so aligned with like, yo, if I can get a good fan base, like a really really good fan base, and make enough money through music and touring and just doing what I've been doing for the last couple of years, but actually monetize it and not have to worry about bills. I don't need to be a superstar.
There's some bands that make $100,000 a year traveling the world.
I was just gonna say that.
Live on their
Like-
and literally make music and can pay rent, can have their own home.
Like, why do you need to be millions and millions a year?
I mean,
People are comfortable. It's like it's your job. It's your career.
But that's also like that's society standard, especially in hip hop. Like, if you ain't doing it big, you ain't doing it.
You
big.
gotta
It's
have
not
the
how much you have,
Richard
it's how
Mill
much
with
you
the
spend in
bezels.
And hip hop is not
You
how
gotta-
much you
you
have,
gotta-
it's
you
how
gotta-
much you spend.
That's how much you
You got-
spend in
Hip hop,
there.
yeah, it's how much you spend.
Right.
Because if you wore that fucking Versace shirt last show, you ain't spending enough. I saw that Versace shirt twice already in a week.
You got to stun a lot,
Yep.
and that becomes
And it's always the watches.
debilitating. You
And
know what I mean?
I hate when fucking rappers diamond out their watches because it ruins the value automatically. Because they're not factory. They're Patek Philippe's be like all bezeled down. It's like it could be a $250,000 watch and you made this shit fucking like $40,000. I'd be
Listen, if
pissed
you-
off.
If anybody ever gives you a diamond bezeled out that's not original and it has it, and you don't want it, Rich, right here, buddy.
All
I
right.
rock that shit.
All right. You can have the Rolexes bezeled out. This
Nah, I'm pawning that shit.
Yo,
pawn it.
I think I'm doing with it. That's what I say. I'll take it.
I think at that point it's
Reinvesting it.
it's how you.
I've been really into watches lately.
Lately,
Yeah. It's out. It's out of
Patek
respect.
Philippe, Audemars PJ.
It's out of respect, right? Because like you want to have a timepiece. The petite shouldn't be touched.
No, it shouldn't.
Here it is. It's a rose gold.
Yup.
80K. That's what you stay at.
Boom.
It shouldn't be like at all these diamonds making $1 million. It's like
No. If it's not from the factory, it's gonna be worthless. No. I've been really into watches. Shout out to Nico Lenard. I love his channel. I recommend you watch. He's like this Irish guy that just goes off and looks at rappers' watches. He's like, they'll be like, "Oh, this costs $500,000." It's like, it's shit. You ruined it. You fucking idiot. This fucking idiot. I don't understand him. He's so stupid.
That's the Irish accent.
but like you were saying, that's their like creativity. They can have a diamond embezzled watch today and another one plain gold and shit like that.
Look, Casio's the king of
I mean,
watches.
look at back then. What was it? Ghostface. Look at that big ass chain, that the eagle on his shit.
The Iron Man.
Bro,
I had my gold eagle since '96.
bro, that shit is.
Nah, but also I think that's a product of also when you get money, you don't know what to do with it. Like that, we've never been taught how to manage
invest.
our money. Like, so we buy things that we don't need for prices that are obnoxiously high just to stunt on each other, like,
Yeah,
and say that we did it.
There was a quote like that. It said, "We buy
It's-
things we don't need.
It's probably J. Cole.
We buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like."
Yeah, it's like.
Well, but it is sick though. I want to know.
But mind you, also like I love the occasional stunt.
No. I want to know that primate that did that, like that. Our ancestor that did that, like he just picked up like a bear skin and threw it over himself.
It was like, yo,
And
this
all
is
the
G.
girls went, and then oh shit, that's when Fly was created. And, oh shit, we all gotta get bear skins. Look, he's getting all the pussy. He's getting all the pussy.
I gotta get that woolly mammoth exclusive. On that
And it meant more because you killed
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Exactly.
Killed this
Oh
bitch.
shit, he killed it and he's wearing it. He's getting all the pussy. That was definitely the first stunt, yo. The first dude that killed everything and wore it.
Pheromones were high.
He was throwing the blood on the eyes. He was looking at everybody.
Caveman style.
Homo sapien L and shit, looking like
Toxic masculinity.
But it's
at
crazy,
times.
because we do spend ridiculous amount. Like I think about like Pablo Escobar. They still find bags of money in Colombia. They still find bags of money in the dirt. The man has so much money. He's the reason there's 30-something hippos in fucking Colombia. Hippos don't belong in Colombia. Like,
Yep.
that's how much money he had. The nigga just said, yo, no, bring the hippo. Bring the hippo. What, nobody saw a hippo on a plane coming over here? Nobody had the idea. Like that's how much money the nigga had.
I mean, it's like Tony Montana. The man had a fucking tiger in his backyard. Nobody saw a fucking tiger.
But
pull
a
up
hippo?
and a fucking.
The
No,
hip.
it's like
I mean, a
Tyson though.
hippo.
Tyson buys tigers. And then you hear him talk about it. Yeah, I used to sleep with my tigers. I used to sleep, but not all of them could sleep with them. You come around, he gets real angry. You gotta watch when he walks around.
Like why you have a tiger in the first place?
Tigers?
Why you have a tiger in the
Why you
first
have
place?
tigers?
But those niggas also had like money that like. What else would you do?
He was worth like 400 million at one point. It's
like
fine.
you ain't pissing that down.
He
to
was
your
worth
family.
$400 million to Mike Tyson at one point.
I wonder though, you know, when you say that, and I know there's charities in the world. I know people give to charity. Well, everybody says they give to charities, but we don't really know, right? But I wonder if there's ever been like a rich person that like if there was a rich person that had like a vending machine, right? And everybody was allowed to go to that vending machine once a day and take $100 bill out. Like, I wonder if a rich person would do that. If
That wouldn't work.
that wouldn't work, right? But if
Just logistically, it wouldn't work.
if I make
Somebody's robbing that shit.
Yo,
Oh yeah,
most definitely.
they're
you
taking.
see, this is why we can't have nice things.
Not an ATM. Full
No,
of fucking
don't take the whole vending machine.
Not like the gumball machine. You just get $100.
Now people get food stamps. You know how people get food stamps?
Yeah.
Instead of it being mailed to
Oh,
your
but
house.
that was the pandemic, bro, where niggas just gave us like
Yo, what?
Get a little free
That's
money.
What that was.
6 months.
Yeah.
Yo, word. Now everybody's outside. Now it's like, all right.
Now they're like, yo, fuck y'all. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, niggas was balling during the pandemic. Everybody had money. But then you ask a nigga like, yo, I love this shit. Nigga be balling, be wearing like $1,000 worth of clothes, and then he'll say some shit like, damn, I'm behind on my rent.
nah,
You just got a $1,400 stimulus. Where'd it go? And you got 8 kids. So you got $1,400 stimulus plus like $1,000 for each. How you broke?
my pandemic purchase wasn't like crazy. It was like I bought a guitar and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna learn this. Never learned this.
Wow.
Just collecting dust.
What kind of guitar?
It
Air?
was like an acoustic,
Acoustic?
like
Okay.
a little cheap 141, but it was literally $140 just sitting on my wall collecting dust for no reason. I used it once,
Damn.
for production, but it was like one of those things where I didn't know how to play, so I was just like, all right, let's just record this chord. Boom. Let's record this other chord. And let's piece it together in like post production.
All right, I'm done.
Hey, we got the whole chord, and then right there.
Mix and
But
master.
That was my pandemic purchase because it was just like it was the height. It was just like, all right, I got this money. I don't know what to do with it. I'm gonna learn.
I'm gonna learn some
But,
shit.
but you see what you said right there with when they get that amount of money, where it's the 1,400, 1,500, as much money as they want. That's what the like. What am I gonna do with it today? Am I gonna buy a pair of sneakers? Am I gonna get this shirt? Am I gonna get this PS5?
I
this new
did
iPhone? Bro.
the pandemic. The thing that helped me a little bit that I did learn, and I want to get back into it. I did learn about stocks, and I was taking a lot of that money and like investing it because that was when AMC was going up, and I
Yo,
invested in
word.
AMC, and I made a little bit of a profit off of AMC during the time.
God, you're so
Yeah. yeah, before, but I knew.
Knew.
Because that, but also, and that was a thing. Like motherfuckers that had no money prior started like, and people who would have never otherwise even looked at a stock in their life, dead ass put a little bit of time into.
A lot of people did invest more in their money during the pandemic. I would say so. But a lot of people did stupid purchases. Too.
Yeah.
Now, I definitely would have bought, like, if I saw the pandemic coming, I would have invested in masks. I would have just bought a whole bunch of masks.
But they were free.
But not in the beginning. In the beginning,
If you bought them in
They're-
January,
People were
in
fighting
the
for the
beginning,
shit.
like, especially I live in Flushing Main Street. You know what I'm saying? There's mad Asians over
What you
there.
doing out here?
Like, there's mad Asians out there. Yo, these niggas would have boxes of masks on Main Street, and they weren't giving them out free. They were selling them, bro. Some guy
I mean,
was
there's a
killing
hustle
it.
everywhere.
Like, you saw his change, bro. He went from a fucking Civic to a fucking Nissan Honda Chevy, B. Like, real quick, bro. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I've been seeing people like that. There's this lady that she just sells hand sanitizers,
Yeah.
masks, all that shit.
There's
and
a
it's just-
Chinese woman that sells
and she
flavored
just-
ones.
Yo, they coming up. They was coming up with that.
Flavored hand
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why she killed it. She put
Go
would buy
from
regular
cherry,
hand
lemon,
sanitizer
blueberry.
and put like a flavoring in it, and now instead of because sometimes it's nasty,
Scented.
so now it's
You
scented
smell
with her own special scent,
Now you
and she
smell like-
labeled it and sold them.
Now you smell like pomegranate.
Yo,
Pomegranate and hippos.
They base smell my hair.
What type of vibe are you?
Yo,
gonna
word.
You touch her, caress her face.
You know, I don't be trusting sometimes. Like I watch like way too many documentaries, and I just saw a documentary on Vice, and it was like how much product is fake over there in China. Yo, they reuse rotten rice. They reuse rotten rice grains. They reuse. And a lot of stuff. They're not regulated over there. Like these motherfuckers, literally, like I can't understand how they do that over there. But then I get to Main Street, and I kind of see the same. You'll see. No cap, bro. I saw a dude drop a whole chicken on the floor. He just picked that shit back up, flipped it like nobody was looking, threw it back in the oil.
It's a 5-second rule.
Yo,
little dirt won't hurt.
Yeah,
Get that extra flavor.
The grease kills the dirt. We
But
good.
to
We
be
good.
fair, also, what was their letter rating?
What?
Was it an A?
No, it was
Well,
like
of
a B.
course.
It's like a B. It was like
Of
a B.
course.
It was a
Of
B. It was
course,
like a
man.
B.
I saw a C one
Like, you
time, and that
expect
scared
that.
me.
Yo,
You saw a C?
I saw a C.
no, I saw.
And that was at Zaro's right there on Parkchester.
Yeah, I saw a C.
How you stay open?
Oh,
Oh
a C.
shit! Wow! I gotta
That's where
actually.
the best Chinese
Yep.
food is on a C.
I started. I
Nigga,
only know about.
that's the
Zaro's
best
because I
cat
started,
dog.
Ordering on.
That's the best
Uber
cat
Eats.
dog.
Yep.
Once
Yo,
I see
we
a
out
C,
to
I be
Zaro's
like,
after
nope.
this.
Oh, you going to Zaro's?
No, because they have
No,
a salmon.
It's A and that's
How long is that shit open for? So like 8, right?
Yeah, it's like 8 o'clock.
Nah, I want that
Sunday?
salmon and cream cheese bagel, bro.
Salmon and cream cheese.
Yeah, it's like a lock. It's
They
like
go-
I had locks or some
They
shit.
go together.
Yeah, you never had salmon and cream cheese?
Yo,
Salmon,
we got
salmon,
salmon.
right?
Yeah.
You guys are saying salmon.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm saying
I'm like,
sal-
oh,
I'm
is
saying
salmon
salmon.
different from salmon? And I
No,
said,
no.
He
Let's
said
be
the
clear.
white way.
I'm saying salmon, and I'll die on that hill. But it's salmon
and cream cheese?
Yeah.
Why would they go together?
because
Oh,
they do.
Why would it not go together?
That, don't.
No, there's a history of like shit not going together that shouldn't, but it does.
Like chocolate and peanut butter. Somebody fucked up the world with that. They were like, how do,
Pineapple on
let's
pizza.
just put
does
these
not
two
go
together.
No,
I like
always.
this and this.
But there's a
No,
place
that
for it
does
somewhere
not
out
go
there.
Well, what
together.
about anchovies?
That.
What if you would put anchovies on pizza?
I haven't
Yeah,
even
I
had
never did.
anchovies,
Not a big
period.
anchovies.
So
Anchovies are good.
I had worm pizza.
But not on pizza.
I had worms on pizza. That shit was pretty good. Yeah, worms.
Real worms?
Like a
Real
jam?
worms.
Or in
Yeah,
Thailand?
no. It was in San Francisco.
Intentionally?
It was in San Francisco. There was this pizza spot that had like they would mix like bugs with like their food. It was a Cambodian spot.
Oh, they
Oh,
it's
there
only
we go.
Asian. I didn't
So
know
they would have like fucking cricket spaghetti.
I ain't gonna lie. One time, one of my homeboys, he had like bought he was working with like this alcohol company, and they had like a bottle of alcohol. I forget what it was, but in the bottom of it, you know how sometimes they have the worm and shit?
Yeah.
It was a scorpion.
Scorpion.
Yeah, that's,
I
seen
ate the
those.
scorpion. That shit was crazy. Yeah, like it was a dare. It was just like, oh, you know.
That gives you good luck.
Does it? Oh well, it explains a lot of things in the last couple of years.
Some say there's venom in the tequila with the scorpion in there.
Well, I ain't dead.
But he ain't there yet, so let's work it
Still
out.
here. He's still
I've
here.
had crickets and tacos.
Oh yeah, I've had that too.
That's delicious.
You ever had the grasshopper one?
Yeah,
Downtown, a Total Logic.
Listen, as long as you put cilantro on it, you put some salt and pepper,
Yeah.
tomatoes,
Shit's lit.
tastes delicious.
Yeah, this is.
It's just crunchy as fuck.
I mean, it's hard for me to like say shit because I got a whole Chinese stepfather and I got a whole slew of things that I personally wouldn't ate it, but
I was gonna make an
he
inappropriate.
just he just
What's the
he
inappropriate
said
joke?
eat it. He said eat it, so I was just like, all right, like I've eaten snail.
That's why you're used to the B-star rating.
Yeah. I ate snail.
Damn.
Nigga, you know there's no pigeons or cats on Main Street. You know that, right? There's no pigeons or cats on Main Street, right? There's a reason for that. They're all in the food. Like dead ass.
One of my favorite movies of all time is Sweeney Todd and fucking.
Oh,
And in Sweeney Todd, there's a whole entire story about when he meets Mrs. Lovett for the first time, and she's like, "Fuck, my business isn't doing good. You know what I should do? I should do what the girl across the street does that is selling shit out the ass. Like I should find a cat and just put it in the pie. It's just like so she contemplates it through the whole entire song, and it's just like that's why all the cats are going missing in the neighborhood.
Even my dad back in the day, he said he remembers going to the Chinese spots and there would be a bunch of cats like meow. He would go with his brother to get Chinese food, and he's like,
That's
why is that?
fucked up.
Why is,
We gotta stop. I mean, I feel like niggas stop doing that, but we gotta.
they stopped doing it. This is like the 70s.
Because niggas used to be like, "Ah, man, don't you eat that rat food?" Like,
Thank God for the EPA. Thank God for, the EPA, the Food and Drug Administration, for kicking that shit into high gear here. Because, fuck. I remember, like, even traveling, like, my friends who, like, live in, like, Asia, they be having literal dog festivals.
Yeah.
Festivals are just eating dogs.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. It's like, like like ducks are hanged in like the stores.
Yeah,
It'll be
I mean,
just with
but also,
fucking ducks.
If you
I
really,
ain't gonna lie, bro. If I'm hungry, if I'm starving, if I'm hungry, I'm starving. Be like,
I
yo,
was but
I just saw this movie Fall. You ever see movie Fall? It just came out. It's about two bitches that climb to like a 3.
Oh, it just came out. That's
Just-
I've been
I'll watch-
wanting. Don't spoil it for me. Because
Nah, there's one part you gotta know. Be like, there's fucking. She catches a fucking hawk or something with her hand that's attacking her. She's playing dead, right? And the shit starts eating her cut. And she opens her eye like this. And she grabs the bird and fucking kills it.
like that movie that I saw.
Nigga, that's me.
I saw.
That's me. Like, if I'm starving, I'm grabbing cockroaches, whatever. I'm fucking eating it.
Real quick, I saw the trailer for that movie when I went to go see fucking I think it was I went to go see the phone book or something like that. The shit with
man,
Ethan
that
Hawke.
movie's sick.
Oh man, I love that
movie's
movie.
Sick, bro.
Phone booth. And when they were giving like the horror trailers and shit like that, and the whole trailer was just this whole CGI thing of just like going up this big tower as fast as and it
Nigga,
would
that
keep
didn't
on
look
going.
CGI.
It was like 30 seconds.
My
and I
nigga,
was
it
just
didn't
yo,
look like CGI when you watch the movie, bro. It don't look like no fucking
But the
shit.
whole premise of the movie is just two girls on this, like, legitimately. It took 20 seconds to get to the top, and it wasn't even the top. It was just where they were, where they're like on this huge tower. And I'm just like, what the fuck is the premise of this movie other than them being on the fucking tower? Like, how did they get there? Why are they there? Like, how are they gonna get down? Like, why are they so high up?
I mean, you want spoiler alert?
no.
No?
I might go see that with Chris after this, man.
I ain't gonna lie, like I fucked up because I saw that movie Saturday morning going to physical therapy, and that first morning blunt usually gets me a little like penoid, like straight up. I be a little bit penoid with that first morning blunt for some reason. Just not like I'm normal, but I was watching the movie.
On alert.
My palms started sweating
Knees weak, arms heavy.
because they were fucking like why are you up that high? I know, like why? And then you just keep climbing. Everything is telling you don't go. Everything God could have came through the sky and said, "Bitch, don't go." You're still climbing.
That's why I'm so interested in the movie.
Look, I
even if it's
fucking
even if
think
it's
about it.
horrible, I'm ready for the most
Yo,
greatest.
when I see those
horrible
Russian niggas hanging off the fucking,
movie.
when I see those Russian dudes hanging off the side of the building,
There you go.
and they smiling. He's with one hand in the GoPro.
Oh,
What are you doing? Like, I'm about to witness you die.
AK-47s was
yeah. Well, I think I'm also intrigued in that movie because I'm scared of heights, so it's gonna be
Are
interesting.
you?
Oh, you're not
You
doing
hate
it,
roller
no.
coasters and shit?
I have only been on a roller coaster
We're
once
gonna
in
walk
my
over
life.
the Whitestone Bridge.
I was
Oh.
I was I was actually with a homeboy of mine celebrating his birthday, and we did laser tag, which was great for the first time. I want to do it again, but after laser tag, we went to like this kind of like this rock climbing arcadey kind of place in Dumbo. And I was hyped off of the energy of just like, yo, it's my brother's birthday. We with a big group of people. Like, yeah, let's do the fucking scaffolding. Let's get hooked up to the harness. Let's go, because it was like a gymnastics course kind of up top where you would just have to maneuver and then go to the zip line and then make your way back around and then come down. But it's like high up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, all right, I'm scared of heights, but if I'm with the homies, like, I'm gonna try. As soon as I got up, like to technically the first
That nigga
floor
leg
type
is like
shit,
this.
I was just like, holy shit. Like, this is, I can't do this. And
Did you turn back down?
so, so they were trying to encourage me to stay. But one of the first things I asked was like, all right, legitimately, like, I know my limits. Like, I can't do this. Can I turn back around? Because you're hooked up to the harness, and you got to also move, which is the other thing. It's not like you're moving free and your harness hooked up. You also got to look up to make sure that you're, like, moving your harness along with the rails, because it's all hooked to one thing. So, like, if you, even if you're like, fuck, like, I want to move quick so that way I don't look down and shit like that, you might get stuck because you got to also, like, pay attention. So there's a lot of just managing that goes into it, which is making me paranoid. And
Like right now, you're sweating as you're telling me.
I am
fuck.
sweating.
He's like, fuck.
Just in general, but like they were just like, don't look down the regular fucking bullshit advice that they gave you,
crap.
but you have to, because it's kind of like an obstacle course thing
Yeah,
where
you gotta
like
watch where you step.
watch where you step. So because you might accidentally get a foot, you wouldn't fall, but you would get a foot in between. And so I told him, I was like, yo, fam, can I go back? He was just like, nah. He was just like, nah. But
You
he
die,
lied.
you die.
He lied. He lied to me because he was just
You could have went back.
from where I was. So what happened was my friends encouraged me to go like another way and like a short way around to kind of like come back down. So I did the whole thing. It took me about fucking 25 minutes. Came back. Matter of fact, also this funny note, when I'm up there, like I'm grabbing on to like one of the pillars, and like there's a group of kids that passed me by and just trying to encourage me. It was a nice little moment. And it's like fucking 8-year-olds that are just like, yeah, you could do it. They were just like, nah, you got this, man. Like you
Don't be scared.
Be scared. You got this.
I felt that same way.
And that was a little nice thing, but I was just like, these fucking kids. But like I came back down, and like it was super easy to come back down. Like dude was bullshitting me.
Why you got fear of heights?
I don't want to die.
Exactly.
Like I mean, but I feel like that's most people's fear of heights, is that they are afraid. They get in their head that there's a potential that shit, if I see
Yeah,
it.
it's like that me in the dark. I'm afraid of the dark.
I'm afraid of heights too, completely. Like, for example, I went to Six Flags. I've experienced the same shit. I don't know what's that ride that just goes up and just
Free fall?
The nitro.
No, not the nitro.
The free fall.
It's like a free fall, yeah. But
King
you
the Cop?
sit on it. They put you on.
Yeah,
and
you
bro,
go forward, a little red light.
I wanted to punch the dude that when they tell you, all right, everybody's hooked. All right, it's ready. Go up. I wanted to punch dude because he looks at me and I'm shitting bricks, and he's like, yo, you wanna get off? And I'm like, yeah, I want to get off. He's like, too late. He puts his hands up like this. And
I hate when they do that shit.
And the first thing I say, yo, you motherfucker! I'm going up, bro. I can see the whole. I felt like I could see my whole house from Jersey, bro. I'm in Jersey, and I live in New York. I could see the Statue of Liberty from where I'm at. Once that shit dropped, bro, my heart, my soul, my whole body, I think, was still up in the air.
Suspended in animation.
Word. I was like this, bro.
I was on a roller coaster once in my life. I closed my eyes the whole entire time. I felt like Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story when he's flying.
I don't know, like I just don't. I like. It's funny. As you get older, you realize you did a lot of shit that could have killed you when you were younger. Like I used to climb a lot of shit. Like my ex-girlfriend, her 2-year-old sister locked herself in a bedroom, and the only way to get up there was to climb on the commercial brick building. And I climbed, and I'm climbing, and I'm pulling up. I had to go from like one window to the other window, and in between is 3 stories straight down. And I'm looking, I said, I need a ladder. So I go find a ladder, I lay the ladder down, and everybody's like, you're gonna fall. I said, no. I don't even realize. I just walked straight through the window. I didn't even realize it. I used to climb all the time. Now, try to put me on like a little boat in the middle of the ocean. Nope. I'm talking shit. I'm scared. I'm nervous. What am I doing here? I've been doing this
swim?
On a good day. On a good day.
I can't swim.
You can't swim? I can swim. I can swim in the ocean good because of the salt with the buoyancy. But there's something about pools. Like, I hate when niggas just be talking to you and they're just sitting there in 12-foot water. Just calm. Yeah, man, the weather's great. Fucking kick up. I'm holding on to the rail.
I'd be like, you know what? Whatever I can't grab, fuck it. Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just.
Nah,
You
I'm
can't
scared
swim?
of heights. I'm petrified. Like that's my biggest fear, is like one day like the apocalypse was gonna come. And,
Yeah,
like,
Papi, you're fucked.
And then because we're near water, like New York and shit.
Oh, yeah. We're
I'm
done.
dead instantly.
Nah, but if it's salt water, you're good. Salt water's buoyant. Just relax.
Look at me. I am dead instantly.
Just relax, bro. You will float. I promise you.
I
You
don't
just
have
relax.
a relaxation bone in my body,
Bro.
I'm gonna be paranoid and panic instantaneously.
Yeah?
The second that I see it above my knees,
Yeah?
I'm going down.
Yeah, I don't.
Sometimes I'll be wanting to punch my nephew in the face because he just be swimming like, yo, Theo, you don't want to get in the water? And he knows I can't. I'll be like, yo,
Nah.
stop fucking showing off in front of me.
Stop instigating
Yo,
me, fam. Like,
For actually diving in, like, drop your
I will
ass.
drown you, fam.
I'm one of those, man, where I can swim in anything. Ocean, riptide, currents, pool.
Swim in a riptide?
Yeah, swim in that too.
Shit.
Michael Phelps up in the
I'm
building.
scuba diving. I got that certified.
yeah, but you grew up in Yonkers.
Oh, there you go.
Grew up in Yonkers. There's not a lot of water in Yonkers. There's not a lot of water over there.
Did you take swimming classes?
No.
Oh, okay. I wanted to make a privileged joke.
Yeah, nah,
Went to the-
That being said, though, when I was younger, I was really, really scared of water.
Really?
It took a lot to even want to swim. Like, I was shitting bricks.
Yeah?
The same way you are with heights was
Yeah.
how I was with the water.
Really?
And now I'm a fucking fish. I could swim in fucking anything.
Yeah, but I don't play. Don't get me wrong, gentlemen. Like, I'm not the type to want to be on Shark Week. You know what I'm saying? I'm not these people that go scuba diving and swimming in the.
that's
Oh,
different.
let's go
Yeah, I
touch the
probably would do
sharks.
that.
Let's go touch the shark. Why do you want to touch a shark? What possesses you to want to pet a shark? Oh, the bull sharks are so beautiful and dynamic in the ocean. You see the wonderful colors. Why?
Get me in the cage. with
Like,
the
no.
fucking
These
great
niggas don't play. They go without the cage. You got.
Yeah.
He thinks he's like a fish,
You be
a
seeing
fish
some-
whisperer and shit. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I can't. I won't do that. I'm afraid of the ocean. Legit, I'm afraid of. It's so big. We got no chance down there.
You on a cruise ship?
Oh,
you
man.
on a cruise ship at night?
No,
That's beautiful, though.
I've been on one at night. I've been on one at night, and I like because it was supposed to be like going to just
black.
seeing. It's a view to take.
Do you think about the
view to the statue-
Titanic?
Bro, every day.
Every day
Bro,
I thought
every
about
day. Every day when I'm on that boat,
Word.
bro.
Just
we
looking out for
going 'cause
icebergs. He just pulled out a fucking telescope.
We going just to see the Statue of Liberty, and it goes back to shore. I don't know what kind of boat ride it was, but it just goes, take pictures of it, but whatever. But while we inside, I'm good inside. But once we go outside, like you're still in the boat, but once you go outside and you see that water, it's like shit. Especially at night, nobody's gonna find you at night if something happens. You're
Yeah.
fucked.
Wow.
You're
Damn.
fucked, bro. I can't do it, bro. I just
Yo,
like
you're
I
gonna be
can't
chilling
do it.
amongst the
Fucking
octopus and
waves.
the
Yo,
octopi.
Octopi.
Which, by the way, they're beautiful creatures, but they creep me out.
They're geniuses, though.
Well, they
Octopus?
don't have no. They don't have no organs in their butt.
Echolocation.
Nah, they're geniuses though. They put they had a I see them get out of jars. I like watch YouTube videos. They get out of jars really good. They squeeze into holes the size of you can't imagine. You know, like they're really good. They're really genius.
There's one type of octopus because I
But
went
they
to,
think that octopuses. They know that octopuses aren't of here. They tested their DNA and
Tastes
octopuses.
delicious, though.
Octopuses they have legitimate DNA that's not from here.
like,
Legitimate.
world.
Yeah. I'll check. I'll check up.
They're
the
like
actual thing,
aliens.
yeah.
I mean, I believe
But
because
they taste
they don't
really
have
good,
they
though,
don't
so-
have any organs at all, and it's fascinating the way they operate. But also there's a few of them. This blew my mind because I went to an aquarium not that long ago.
They're
and there-
creepy as fuck.
Yeah, there's a type of octopus. I think it's called like an upside down octopus. It's very like straightforward. Like literally, they spend their whole entire lives on the bottom.
What
of
is that? When you did
Yeah.
69 with her?
Let's do it, baby. Let's do the upside down
Yeah, you
octopus.
face that octopus.
Let's do the ups. But their whole, like literally, their whole life is spent on the floor, like the sea
Yeah,
room
they're-
floor, and they collect nutrients upside down. They don't swim nowhere.
I gotta
They
look
don't
this up.
go anywhere. They just live
Yeah, they just
and
sit
occupy
there.
themselves upside down.
They're like
Upside down octopus.
Yo,
Bro,
peep this
they
shit.
look
It says
like rocks.
after.
They look like rocks. But once you get like closer to them and you see them, what do you call
change their
this?
color,
Yeah.
They camouflage. and
Yeah.
shit.
Yo, look.
Bro, it's just
After completely sequencing its genome, scientists reached an unexpected conclusion that octopuses are entirely distinct from any other animal on Earth. The results yield outstanding numbers. Over 33,000 protein coding genes were identified. That's more than what humans possess. Scientists can't agree whether they're out of this world.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? They're not of this world. It's bugged out.
Yeah. I mean, they're such fascinating creatures. Like,
yeah,
like
scary as fuck, like I
And then
said.
you
But
squeeze the ink on the pasta. You want to eat it?
Nah, you know what I be finding
you're
fucking.
having a way
you know-
different experience than all of us.
You know what I be finding fucked up? Like I don't know how to feel when they fucking when they catch them in the ocean, the squids, and they chop just the tentacles off and they feed it to people. Sashimi. You never seen it?
Sashimi.
And they're still alive. They cut it off and the
Yep.
fuck. Yo, you seen it?
Yep.
Yo, they cut off. Look, live. Yo, live. He catches it fresh off the boat, right? He takes the top off. He opens it up. He takes the top, cuts it open, cuts the fucking organs from the legs. Throw the legs so they're standing up like this, and then decorates it with food, and you eat it with soy sauce and all that shit. Never see? Yeah, they eat
I'm
that
sure.
shit
I'm
raw.
sure it tastes fantastic. I'm not touching anything.
Yeah,
That's
even with
for
Korean barbecue, if you get like little octopus, like and they throw them on that big like bowl
They're still
thing,
moving.
they're still moving.
Grilled octopus is really good.
Because
But
their
it's not
organs, they're
moving.
dead, but
Right.
it's just their nervous system is still like pretty
No,
much
but-
after death. And when you throw them on like heat, it just like
Well,
starts
no,
moving
when
around.
You buy an octopus like in the fish market. Sometimes it would move. Sometimes.
Yep.
It's like scallops too. Like they wiggle.
Yeah, man. I
Mm.
I be feeling bad. Like I made lobster not too long ago, and I bought a live lobster, and I swear I almost had a Homer Simpson moment. I almost kept him. I almost kept him. I felt so terrible. Like he's over here throwing bubbles, waving his, and I'm grabbing his claw, and he had a moment where he just put his claw back on me, and I just felt so guilty. I was like, I'm really not gonna cook this nigga right now. This is fucked up. And Shorty's like, we're not keeping a lobster in the house. Look, we'll just go get a tub from Target. You fill it with fucking water. He'll be fine. Like, she's like, we're not keeping the fucking lobster. I went to go use the bathroom. The bitch put the nigga in the pot. And yo, I swear, I'm peeing. And it was like my spider sense tinkled. Like, I heard, help. I came out there. I said, you threw him in, didn't you? She was like, yeah. And I went to the pot. Yo, I got her. I made her feel bad. I said, come over here. Come over here. Look at this shit. So I said, you don't hear that? You don't hear that?
They
He's
squeak.
calling for help. You don't hear that?
You heard it
He's
squeak?
in pain right now.
You heard it like squeal?
Yo, yeah, I did. I think I did. Yo,
Yeah.
nigga, how
Yeah,
can
they-
you not feel pain?
Yeah,
You're boiling.
Lobsters like do like a sound when they're getting boiled.
That's so fucked
You have to put
up.
you have to put the knife in the head first before you put it in the pot.
No, you boil it live. You're supposed to boil it live. No, you don't
do
touch.
both.
Nah, you could do both, but they usually just boil live and take it out. I just feel so bad. Like,
This is making me less hungry than what I was before.
yo,
Like,
on some
Makes me wanna
next
cry
shit.
I want lobster mac and cheese
I know
now.
I know how to cook and clean fish, right? I'm a fisherman. I know how to do all that. But when you don't do it for a little while, it's not something that I just all of a sudden it snapped on. So we started catching fish, and I decided to bring one home. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna cook and clean this shit. I'm gonna hook this up. Watch, we're gonna eat some good fish. Yo, that fish was in the bag of ice for like 10 hours. He was still alive when I got home. I put him in the sink, and he's jerking everywhere. I'm like,
yeah.
and then I try to, you try to put the knife through the head.
Yeah.
That nigga wasn't having it. He spiked up. I swear he fucking hit me with a spike. He was like, "Bang, get off me, nigga. You want to eat me? You can't handle me." Yo, yeah, I swear to God.
You gonna fight for this one?
Yo, I finally
You'll
got to
never
the
take
fish.
me alive, bitch.
Yo, and then when you fish are the same way. When you cut them open.
Flavor.
Nah, and I couldn't, bro. He was out. He was all over the fucking place. Finally, when I got him, I felt so bad because his little heart's beating while he's getting chopped open.
All right.
alive.
All right.